All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, man. The Toronto Raptors, 8 straight victories for them, taking down my Houston Rockets. We're primarily going to talk about the Raptors today. If you guys are a Rockets fan, I do have a Rockets Daily channel where I post every day on it, hence the word daily. If you guys want to check that out. But man, Toronto Raptors won 8 straight basketball games, and you know, this is something I talked about in last night's recap was you never know with Houston. And coming out here scoring 41 points in the first quarter, no Freddie for the Raptors, you're thinking maybe. But I think really at the end of the day, even in that first quarter, even as a Rockets fan, I mean, there was never really a point where I was thinking, this is looking good. Rockets defense sucks. That's the bottom line. Rockets defense sucks. Freddie wasn't needed tonight. He just wasn't needed. And it's hard to need Freddie when your starting shooting guard drops 42 points and your starting power forward, or I guess center, scores 30. That's literally 72 combined points, and that made up for actually only half of the Raptors' total points tonight. So before we get into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. Raptors Nation, I appreciate you guys so much. I posted a video on why the Raptors won the Thaddeus Young-Goran Dragic trade, if you guys want to check that out. But man, Gary Trent Jr., the man's on a mission here. Let's get the stats out. 6 of 13 from the field, 42 points. What was cool to see with Gary tonight is just kind of scoring outside of the three ball. We all know he's capable of it, but really just kind of took that to the next level tonight. Also 5 steals. What did he have? 4 last night? This man literally almost has 10 combined steals. He might have even had 5 last night. I just can't remember. This man defensively has turned into, maybe scary isn't the right word, but you're not going to attack Gary Trent Jr. thinking it's an easy bucket. Maybe when he was a rookie or even last year, that's probably what you're thinking. Gary Trent Jr. isn't the best equipped defensive player. And coming into Toronto, he's flipped a switch, bro. You saw it with his dad kind of coming out and saying, looked like Gary was depressed in Portland, and you just love to see him kind of get this sense of community, this sense of team, the atmosphere in Toronto. You just love to see it because you can tell he's feeding off it. And when he's feeding off it, the rest of the team feeds off of him. So 42 points for Gary Trent Jr. tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if this man was an all-star next year. I really wouldn't. He's putting it all together. He's improving, obviously, on a season-by-season basis. But this is the year really where, maybe not even statistically, what's he averaging on the season here? I don't have the actual 18.2 points per game. You might look at him statistically season by season and be like, there's not much improvement there. There's improvement, but there's not much. You give it the eye test, you just watch him play basketball, and you're like, holy fuck, this guy's gotten so good. Siakam, he's their rock, bro. He's literally the Raptors' rock. And without Siakam, I don't know what the hell they would be doing right now. He's so needed, and he's really shutting up all of his haters. He's really silencing them this season, so shout out to him. One thing I did like tonight about the Raptors was their bench mob. Once again, man, it's tough when you play a team like the Houston Rockets because we're constantly giving up 120-plus point games. So it's kind of hard when you play a team that's struggling so much defensively, to kind of give analysis on it, give feedback on it. But Delano Banton, 10 points tonight. Malachi Flynn, 8 points tonight. Those are 2 guys who, first off, I want to see more minutes to Malachi. I understand defensively he's not great, but he's such a guy where when he's on, dude. He's just really gifted offensively. You saw the 2 steals tonight. You saw 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I just think that what Malachi offered the Raptors at that tail end of last year, I just feel like he's deserving of at least some type of play on a more consistent level. Delano Banton, if you guys have been watching the channel, you know my thoughts on Delano. Take more shots, dude. Literally just be aggressive, take more shots. And what better team than the Houston Rockets to kind of get that in full drive? So Delano Banton took 8 shots tonight, 0 of 3 from downtown, but a perfect 5 of 5 from 9 threes. Obviously, he's not known for three-point shooting, but it's just these little games like this where, I know 10 points isn't crazy. 3 assists, couple of rebounds, both him and Malachi, very high up there in the positives. Malachi was plus 23, Delano was plus 17. So, Raptors bench really kind of had their way against the Rockets tonight. But It's just little confident things like this that they just add up. And come playoff time, especially with a guy like Delano who is a rookie, you want them to be kind of like harnessing all their confidence and just putting it all into the playoffs. Like, you want these guys really as hot as they can be heading into playoff time in playoff form. And that's my hope with Delano, because when he first got to the league, the man was balling out. Defensively, he's kind of been getting clamped out recently. Hasn't been taking the best shots, hasn't really been aggressive. But a night like this, you never know what it can do for a young fella. It's probably going to get him going. Chris Boucher added in a nice 16 points, 5 rebounds off of the bench. Scotty Barnes didn't really do too much offensively. But fuck, man, who was really expecting Scotty Barnes to like put up 15 points a game every single night before the season started? I'll take 9 points. I'll take 7 rebounds. I'll take 6 assists. Scotty is a stud. Just really at the end of the conversation. Precious, did what he had to do. 6 points, only played 14 minutes, but solid game all around. I just like what the Raptors have right now. I really like what they have right now, and I know they've won 8 straight, and it's easy to say, like, this team is red hot, and they have to be feared, but really the reality of it is, it's true, man. The Toronto Raptors right now, 31-23. I understand the Eastern Conference got, like, a lot harder today, but Toronto, they're a sleeper still. They're still a sleeper, especially when they're playing at home with fans returning at some point in March. Hopefully that still goes on. As a Bulls guy, I don't want to play the Raptors. Like, I would, if I'm any team in the Eastern Conference, the Raptors are the last team I want to play. I'm thinking of 2 teams specifically, Cavaliers and the Raptors. Those are 2 great defensive, great coached, just great teams all around. They play so well off of each other. They feed off each other's energy, and it's nights like this where you never know when Gary Trent Jr. is going to go for like even 30. You never know, because it can happen any night, and tonight just so happened to drop 42. Then when you have Siakam just kind of holding everything down, just being your rock, it makes it that much easier. It really makes it that much easier. And so, I talked about this a lot. I made 2 whole videos about Thaddeus Young today if you want to check those out. But he's going to do a lot for him, man. Take it from a Bulls fan. He's going to do a lot for your team, and he's just a guy who can do literally everything. And he's a veteran. He's going to be great for the Raptors, and I've got high hopes for this Toronto team in the future. This season, we'll see, man. I think, honestly, just the way last year kind of went, especially the way it ended, I think really just making the playoffs as like a top 6 seed team would be a massive victory for the Toronto Raptors. So I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them even when you guys play my team in the Houston Rockets. My expectations are in check, and, if there's going to be a team I want to lose to, it'll be the Toronto Raptors to put them to 8 straight. So that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. I also have my Twitter down below. I got my Twitch. I'm live every single night pretty much on Twitch playing video games and stuff. So check that out if it interests you, and I'll see you guys later. But most importantly, drop comments down below, whatever you want about the Raptors, if you want to talk about the trade deadline. But specifically tonight, let's hear some thoughts about tonight's game, and I'll see you guys later.